The GoreCast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. As well as the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head,
America's longest running horror channel, www.withoutyourhead.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Group chat Thursday, groupie talk, groupie talky people, more than one and more than two, and consequently also more than two.
Yeah, and we're covering childhood classics. It's great.
That is a long title for a program.
No. The oh yeah, I forgot to change the fucking doodad.
There goes our comic timing.
Yeah. It's a good thing you tried to set it up in advance, Giz. That worked out so well.
The funny part is you mentioned it, and I remembered, and then I forgot exactly.
I went to read what we're doing today, and then I was like, no, that's last week. Okay, so today we're doing Guyver Dark Hero, which, for people who are unaware, is called Guyver 2. And Tokyo Gore Police, because I was like, what the fuck can I think will match in with this now that isn't an episode of Power Rangers? And I was like, Tokyo Gore Police, probably.
I'm not going to lie. We also could have gone with Aria. I think that's what it's called. There's an anime series. Got like 8 episodes. It's another one with monsters and space aliens.
It's a series.
No. There was two live action movies. Actually, I'll tell you exactly what it's called now. Two shakes. That's the wrong thing. Damn you.
We got news bits here. Why don't we kick into a news bit while you figure that bit out, and then we can come back to that, touch back on that later on. So,
Area. IRIA.
Nice. So, news bit 1, IRIA, just to clarify with everyone. Yeah? Okay. Cool. Okay, everyone down? We're all good? Everyone story? How we getting on? Everyone okay? That's good.
Okay.
You know it's getting bad if I'm bringing out my Bob Ross voice, all right? Yeah, just paint some pretty little clouds here over just little clouds. Anyway,
all we have
Netflix announced an exclusive to somebody because it happened on July 2nd. So we only get the news as it comes out on the internet. For the moment. Unless you very specifically talk about American horrors, then we have like all the fucking exclusives. Whatever you fucking need, I'll exclusive the shit out of it. I can tell you exactly what's on right now, which isn't an ability that a lot of people have. Anyway, Netflix on July 2nd announced that they were going to be doing a new movie called Warrior Nun, inspired by the manga novels. And the series is described as a fun genre-bending action series that blends the best of super sci-fi period, fantasy, and young adult fiction. They had me until young adult fiction. I feel this is going to be like... I was going to say Hunger Games, and I was like, no, that's fucking Battle Royale. Never mind. Quite an understatement. Warrior Nun looks incredibly high concept, resembling a weird mix of Army of Darkness and Legion. 50% of that I'm okay with. The other 50% I'm a little bit... Unless they're talking about the series Legion.
As it? They are, I'd imagine, TV show, yeah. The Marvel...
Or the movie.
Yeah.
Or did he have his own movie?
No, he's got a TV show.
And pulling period ideas and making them modern. There's a ton of action, cool characters, crazy technology, and the promise of foul language and various demons. Sounds like an episode of the GoreCast, to be blatantly honest, so far. Also, Warrior Nun looks like the kind of gateway horror that would bring your kids on over to the dark side. I'm way into this.
That's definitely
sounds like an episode of the GoreCast.
An interesting news bit for one that's covering basically live action anime, and this is basically another case of live action anime.
Actually, it's quite an appropriate little news bit considering Tokyo Gore Police is up, because like it's literally Pam was watching this, I don't believe having seen it before, and she was like, "Man, the blood every time they cut, like if they even cut their finger, it's like," and I'm like, because it's an anime but with real people. In anime, if they sneeze, it's like chew.
Yeah, but that's usually because they're horny.
God damn it, kids! We're like literally. Technically, it says 15 minutes into the show, but that's not true because there was 2 trailers that played and there was an internet delay.
I was just explaining why.
I'm just like, if it's going to be this bad now at the start of the show, what's it going to be like where we get to the fucking movie where it's essentially a Japanese S&M schoolgirl running around murderizing people?
It comes sooner and sooner every episode.
Yeah. Mostly.
Yeah. I'll try to behave.
Mostly.
You're out of timeout.
Anyway, you guys discussed Warrior Nun there for a moment. Let me see if there's any extra info I could have for you. Inspired by the manga novels, Warrior Nun revolves around a 19-year-old woman played by Alba Batista who wakes up in a morgue with a new lease of life and a divine artifact embedded in her back. Ouch. She discovers she is now part of an ancient order that has been tasked with fighting demons on Earth, and powerful forces representing both heaven and hell want to find and control her.
Yep, sounds like an anime to me. Sounds like an anime to me. That's
the one thing I may have slightly correct you on is you said July 2nd came out July 2nd or more. Today's June 15th or 16th.
Okay,
it comes out July 2nd. It comes out July 2nd.
I thought the news date was June 2nd. Sorry, not July 2nd. If it was July 2nd, we've got the fucking exclusive.
I was going to say.
So exclusive. I mean, goddamn future.
We got a news bitch. We got 2 weeks down the line. 2 weeks down the line.
Do it all of the time. Do it all of the time is what you've told me. There's 5 million trailers to fucking back up.
So, for correction, the movie comes out on July 2nd on Netflix. You got it, dude. You got it, dude.
Keep discussing that. Okay, I'll bring up the next movie bit.
Well, actually, I can remember the next bits because another one that I thought was very relevant to us.
Let me know which one that is.
Once upon a time, you and I reviewed a movie called Blackwater.
Cool, perfect, cool. That's
which was based on true events in
Bigfoot one, is it?
Crocodiles.
Yeah, it's based. What? No, it's crocodiles. Blackwater was based on true events in Australia, I think, whereby a tour boat ends up getting stranded on sandbar and surrounded by crocodiles. No, there was a couple of films, and I think that's where the confusion came in.
Right.
Because or maybe you're right. Crap. Now you have me wondering. I was full sure we reviewed this because when I was reading the synopsis, I was like, this is the movie we reviewed.
Based on true events, what you're thinking of, which is also there's a tourist boat driving around and they get fucked up by a bunch of alligators. I think some guys come and try and cause some hassle with the boat, which thus ends up spurring on the alligators. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say that it was a really good film and the sequel's coming out, but apparently I'm completely fucking wrong.
Well, it does say that the original film came out in 2007, the original Blackwater. And it does take place in Australia, so maybe you are talking about the...
Thanks for letting me know about the bad echo, Pam. Much appreciated.
Is it possible to review both of them?
Highly. We did an entire Crazy Alligator episode, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah. Anyway, the point I was going to get to was, while it's going to be getting a cinematic release in America in August, it's actually going to be getting released in July in the UK.
July 10th.
Yeah, July 10th. The story of this one is following, I believe, there's a bunch of people that are cave diving or something like that, and they end up getting trapped in an underground cave system when bad weather comes in and surrounded by killer crocs. So another claustrophobic underwater up against nature's best killing, well, maybe not the best killing machines because they're sharks, but certainly up there as very good killing machines.
You said that the film's supposed to be releasing in the U.S. in August, you said?
I think so, yeah. I think it was August 10th.
Yeah, because the news bit only has for
I don't see it.
The UK version. I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure you could be right. I just going off of what the news bit said.
It's the same news bit, so
I think Buzz is just
like,
angry that he's not doing the news bits on this show because he's just pissing.
No, I'm happy because I can't.
Is that the date that you said the thing
shit.
is coming out? Well, that's not the date. Just to let you know.
Oh, it's August.
Oh,
yeah.
Also, hey, is it just an American or?
It comes out in August.
Because I didn't say anything about America on the one that I'm reading. Just to let you know.
it's okay.
It doesn't have a date. It just says it comes out in August.
And then it's getting released in the UK in July. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But if you want, you can do the last news bit because there is another one.
Personally, I don't care. I don't want to read, so I'm actually happy.
It's
I'm just
okay,
kind of
Buzz.
feeding
Dude,
in the
okay.
information.
It's okay. I can't remember what the last news story was, and I was the one that got them all together.
Oh, well, that's bad. Well, the last news we have is Legendary Entertainment hunts Bigfoot.
Yes, that's right.
Devaluation from World War Z author Max
Legendary
Brooks.
Entertainment, who brought you Godzilla and King Kong back to life and is currently working on a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre film and series.
This is a book.
No. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that's very important, right? Here's the thing. World War Z, the film, was a pile of utter shit that had fuck all to do with the actual Max Brooks books. I know this because I have the damn thing in an audio version, which is cool because the entire book is supposed to be transcripts of audio interviews anyway. So I basically have it like it's your man's interviews. It's brilliant. Now, apparently the Bigfoot book is...
I've heard the book was awesome.
It is, and has nothing to do with that fucking pile of smeg that they called World War Z. Now, the new film is, or the new story, the Bigfoot story, is basically kind of part survival, part scientific endeavor, which once again takes on it's not exactly a story. The way that it's presented is part scientific journal and survival guide. And the idea is that after a volcano erupts or something like that, all of a sudden they start getting Bigfoot sightings and Bigfoot attacks. And there's a student in the area who's trying to research Bigfoot, and it just turns into a clusterfuck because it turns out Bigfoot's a little bit of a carnivore or a killer or something like that. So yeah, once again, this is me trying to remember stuff off the top of my head. So Buzz, if you want to read out the actual stuff.
So here it says the story is set in a model eco-community town in the shadow of Mount Rainier that in the aftermath of a volcanic eruption is rampaged by ferocious beasts known as Sasquatches. The tale is told via the lens
Sorry,
of
you
town
got that
resident
wrong. It's pronounced Samsquatch.
Samsquatch.
Perfect, thanks. Samsquatch. Does nobody watch Trailer Park Boys?
Here it's saying that Legendary Pictures has just picked up the rights to the movie, but nothing is announced about time frame or any of that stuff.
Get announcing Legendary Pictures.
Hopefully,
love me a good
choking down another fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I just hope they actually stick to the source material as opposed to just taking the name and going off in their own little fucking... Jesus.
It's Legendary Studios, so, I mean...
Right.
I don't know what that means, but I said
it. Are they the same studios that brought us Mortal Kombat?
They've been bringing us the latest American kaiju movies.
I assumed so by when it said Godzilla and King Kong.
I appreciate the whole Godzilla and King Kong, but they could have done a hard pass on Texas Chainsaw Massacre and I'd been fine.
I think they're making a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't think they've done one yet.
Yeah.
So, and they're doing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre series, which seems to be the new thing now.
Yeah,
let's just do... Do you know what Pinhead hasn't done yet? Series. Do you know what the Sawyer family haven't done yet? A series. Let's do series now. I'm intrigued to see how, I'm intrigued to see how they handle this Hellraiser series, because I feel it's going to be like Pinhead and the Adventures of the Cenobites, and every week it's like we meet someone else and we fuck them up and then we move on with our day.
You know, if they could use it and open up to the whole different branches, it'd be awesome. But Yeah, I just
To
kind
me,
of feel like it could be like picking one person and just keep doing the same shit over and over.
to be fair, there is an entire comic book series written by Clive Barker for
Oh, dude,
Hellraiser.
the comic book's fucking awesome.
But my point being that there is a wealth of lore that they can dig from, and therefore
Yeah.
give us a series. It's
True.
more than
And they-
just
No,
you know,
but
X-Men adventures
they
every
kind
week.
this is why you.
And they kind of attempted to do that bullshit in the last film, and look how well
This
that
is
fucking
why
planned out.
you get disappointed by modern TV adaptations, guys, because you go and you think logically, and you go, there's a source of background material there that they could work from. And there's just plenty of stories where if you just get a fucking camera guy and some CGI dudes and a little bit of practical effects, you could do a really good thing. And you're not wrong. You're totally right. There is a wealth of stuff back there, and all of those things very well could make a good TV show. But if anything has shown me anything,
But it takes
that's
like
probably not what they're going to do.
fucking
It's going to be Pinhead
Right.
and the adventures of the Cenobites as they go around and find fucking Muppets week by week and destroy their fucking lives and show them all of the delicious pain.
Ooh. See, I'd like a series of that where the Cenobites destroy the Muppets. That'd be
Jesus
awesome.
Christ. Do you know what would be good about that is if do you know the two grumpy old dudes? Yeah, that's exactly just them, just be like, you call that pain? You should try being married to my wife.
That would be fucking awesome.
You have such sights to show us. Like what? Tourism?
Cenobites versus the Muppets coming soon from the GoreCast.
Oh my God! At least we're down here with all the chains.
Well,
it could be worse. We could be
I'll tell
listening
you
to the
something for
bear.
nothing. It won't be me doing it because I'm banned from sock puppets. It's contractually in the American Horrors contract,
Touché.
no fucking sock puppets. There was questions when the
Touché.
sock puppet xenomorph bust out of Giz's stomach until they were like, oh no, it's just a xenomorph. Thank fuck for that. Which is, although I still say, though he was like the Dr. Pepper of the Gorecast, Saki did what he was supposed to do because people were
everyone
not
off?
supposed to like that sock, and by God,
At all.
they did not like that sock. And by the end of it, I didn't like that
Roddy-
sock either. And I was the one that came up with the fucking sock idea.
I didn't like him. And I was the one with his hand up it.
Roddy really liked our musical interlude there. He was kind of... So thanks, Roddy.
Thank you. You're very welcome. Anytime we can get some sort of Muppet-related shenanigans in here, it'll probably happen.
Animal!
Cinema Reaper Reviews wants to know what he just walked into. I don't know.
Oh,
The GoreCast group chat. What the fuck did you think you
It's
walked
Thursday,
into?
Cinema
When we
Reaper.
find out, we will tell you.
What?
also, hello and welcome to
Anyway.
the chat.
Hello.
Probably shouldn't start the chat feed thing by just abusing people in the chat. Where'd you get off disagreeing with the thing that I said about the thing? I'll sing if I want to.
Go away.
This is why I shouldn't talk to people.
I know, this is why you're not allowed to handle any of the social media accounts.
He's not wrong.
Mm-mm. He's not wrong. I have the ability to take out my little smoke and go, let's think about this for a second before I just fucking unload on this poor cunt.
I, on the other hand, just go, let's kill him. Boom.
Yes,
Die.
it's the other shit end of the stick that I get because I have to do the polite thing where it's just like, sir, while I feel that your arguments are total caca, I appreciate the validness of you being allowed to deliver your opinion to me, even though we have never talked before and you're DMing me. Thanks.
Why are you a part of the same genetic gene pool as me? Go
But
away.
your opinions are highly appreciated at the GoreCast, and thank you very much for talking to us.
Anyway, shall we move on to the review segment of this before I open my mouth and get us into even more trouble? Yay! What are we starting with?
I figured we'd go. I think it's actually chronologically, but I didn't intend it to be chronologically. I just went Guyver. I said we'd go with the Guyvers first because they're 1 and 2.
Yeah, you're right. Chronologically.
Yeah, no, but I meant as in like I think Tokyo Gore Police is after both of those, so it is actually worked out chronologically.
Yeah.
I just Tokyo
It is.
Gore Police.
Oh,
That'll
wait.
say something about Tokyo Gore Police, considering the 2 movies we're about to talk about. Is definitely the wackiest and most out there of the 3. Hands
fuck
fucking
yes.
down.
Yes.
Okay. So starting off with Guyver, which was brought out in, I want to say 91.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So Guyver is based on the Japanese comic book of the same name by Yoshiki Takeya, which is basically the idea of Guyver is that humanity was created by an alien race in order to be a template for the ultimate weapon. Through genetic manipulation, humans can be transformed into monsters called zoonoids, which is where we got the myths of werewolves, vampires, things like that. These aliens that manipulated life since the dawn of time also had these this kind of like armor that they used, this adaptive armor, because it's been theorized they were themselves made up of different species. This adaptive armor, they decided to test it by putting it on a human. This was resoundingly known as a terrible fucking idea, because while the humans were all under their control due to mental powers that the aliens had, the Guyver apparently broke all mental links, allowing the humans to revolt and rip the outer smeg out of everything in their path. Because apparently, a human plus this piece of armor is way more powerful than any of the aliens. So, that's the basic backstory. The film itself...
What the fuck? Dude! Well done!
What?
Thank you!
No. He just said the backstory. He's getting into the main story.
Oh, shit. Okay, sorry. I jumped the gun. Never...
It's okay.
Oh, dude, I knew exactly why he was so happy.
I was like, that was like 3 minutes! Fuck yeah!
Into this interesting world, we get a guy called Sean Barker, based on Sho Fukumachi from the animated series, who is, to be perfectly honest, a bit of an idiot.
Sean, God bless his cotton socks. He spells his name with a W, and that should give you an indication of where we're going with this synopsis of the man.
Yeah.
He's you know, they say God loves a trier, and sometimes when you see that happen in cinematic terms, you're kind of like, really, does he? Because I feel that's probably not exactly true.
Yeah. Anyway, the film starts off, basically it follows loosely along the same lines as the comic book, whereby Kronos is an organization that has the technology to create the zoonoids that the aliens once used. Kronos has recently gotten their hands on a Guyver unit. They have no idea how to activate it yet, but they've gotten it. In the film, Dr. Tetsu Sagawa grabs the Guyver unit, realizes it's a bad thing, is trying to get it to the CIA, who apparently work on American soil now
Not
in
so
these
much
movies.
he realizes it's a bad thing. He realizes it's a cool thing. It's just that it happens to be in the hands of people. Bad thing.
Point is, he's trying to get it away from him. He doesn't get very far, however, as he's tracked down by Lisker and his band of cronies.
Played by
Oh my god!
Michael Berryman.
Yes.
One of the many
Lisker
horror famous heads you see in this movie.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah. Lisker makes short work of Tetsuo, and which unfortunately is witnessed by Mark Hamill's character of Max, who's the CIA agent, supposed to have a clandestine meeting with him about
Do you know,
the
I
suit
was
of
actually
armor.
surprised with how many sort of little horror nods and gags and stuff they managed to kind of, like, pop culture references that they managed to fit in. I was surprised that there was no Star Wars.
There
Was
was. Yeah,
I
yeah,
totally missed it, dude.
good. I've got a very good ear. When Mark
I don't
Hamill's
give a fuck how
character
good
is
your ears
dying,
are,
that
man. Tell me
final
what
bit.
thing.
What?
I said I don't
He's
give a fuck
dying.
how. What was the word you used about your ear? This is going to turn into a whole different conversation. Just do the thing.
When Mark Hamill's character is dying, if you listen to the music, there's a little bit of the Imperial March in it.
You know what, man? You are totally fucking right. Yes, you are. Yeah.
Okay. No, I completely fucking missed it, dude.
Yeah. There's some kind of like sad Star Wars music. Not literal Star Wars
It's
music,
just a
but it's
little-
definitely on the money, if you know what I mean.
It's just a little couple of notes from the Imperial March are just worked into the music as he's dying. But
Nice.
anyway, Max contacts Tetsuo's daughter to try and figure out if maybe she knows what's going on. Mitsuki is Tetsuo's daughter. Turns out she's the girlfriend of that idiot Shawn. Shawn follows
not definite
Max
girlfriend, love interest, I think.
Yeah. Anyway,
semantics.
Shawn follows.
Good argument. Good argument.
Shawn follows them back to the scene of Dr. Sagawa's death and inadvertently finds the Guyver that apparently he didn't have a goddamn mother-fracking lunchbox. So he sticks it in his bag because, wow, this is cool looking, and fucks off. Lisker and his boyos, unfortunately, have to report to the boss, Dr. Balkas, or, well, something Balkas. It's supposed to be Dr. Balkas, but anyway. Balkas is... Falcon, thank you. Balkas is a zoolord, which means that he's able to telepathically control zoonoids. It's part of the aliens' plan for an army structure. So he has Lisker slap the piss out of himself and sends him off to try and
it's very
retrieve
funny. It's like a
armor.
really sinister version of stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself.
Yep. Except
Well,
hit yourself
hitting
more.
yourself.
Hit yourself more. Hit yourself more. So yeah, he sends him off to try and track down, find out what the fuck happened with the armor. Shawn, meanwhile, manages to have a run-in with a rival from the local Aikido club, who is apparently part of the worst street gang.
Very, very weird street gang. It has to be said.
But they are enough to kick the crap out of Shawn and make him drop the Guyver unit out of his bag. He face plants it, the unit activates, he's covered in armor, and he kicks the bejesus out of them. It's great fun.
Dude, I could not believe that they stood there while that was like slowly wrapping, and like, that is not the scene you stick around to see what the fuck's going to happen next.
Dude,
I'm sorry.
Look, let's...
You and I have very different definitions of what happens and things like that.
You're right, dude. No, you'd have to fucking call me later. Dude, that shit got
let's
weird.
be honest about that fucking street gang, right? They were obviously supposed to be an Hispanic street gang. Not one of them were Hispanic. It was 4 white dudes and a Chinese guy, or possibly Japanese. Not going to be racist.
But they all wore color-coordinated headbands like a softball team.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Well, I the only reason I picked up on the fact that I was pretty sure that they were supposed to be Hispanic street gang is usually the Hispanic street gangs have the top, you know, where they have the shirt open, bar the top button closed kind of thing.
Let us also not forget it was the 90s, the early 90s, and they were still on the verge of we're getting out of shoulder pads and coke, and we're getting into speed and
we're getting out of shoulder pads and coke. What a fucking line. Well done, dude. That was great. I love. Get rid of the video.
Yeah, I gotta say that was a little bit of
because it is.
Oh, it is Mark Hamill on the post in the actual. Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
They did that deliberately. They did that deliberately because they got Mark Hamill, but they can't.
There's one name on the front of that poster,
and it's not right. It's actually in the armor.
There we go.
That was a little bit of a piss off for me. First time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, where is he?" Okay, there he is, and there he's gone. Like, it was just such a piss off at that point.
The first time I saw it was actually on VHS when I was a kid, and it was called Mutronics, and the cover was very, very different.
He was actually in it a good bit.
I've got the VHS tape in the parents' place. He was, yeah. He was the main character in it. And what's interesting is the adaptation. Like I said, they took the basic first story arc with the stuff that happens in Kronos Tower and him getting the armor, and they changed it completely, but they still kept the basic notions of it. So that's decent enough, I suppose. And I suppose we have to accept the fact that comic book movies at that time especially would have been seen as very campy, because Batman would have been only out a couple of years. Maybe Batman Returns was out, I think, at that stage.
No, Batman Returns was 92, the year after.
Oh, well, even still, that just goes to enforce my point in regards the mindset for comic book movies. But like I said, the interesting thing was it garnered so much interest that they went along, did a sequel that's far darker and more serious than the original. As a result,
the sequel is actually very much more on point with the tone of the comic book and the anime. Well, the anime obviously came after, but you know what I mean. It's funny actually how that worked out, because I mean the first one is, as you said, it's so campy and so like there is literally not a single scene without some sort of very intentional gag put in there.
No, you know what, man? I gotta
interesting.
give it because the
I was gonna
creatures
say-
look fucking awesome.
Which is why I think there was an American cut when it was originally released, and a lot of the comedy and campy stuff was taken out to accentuate it and make it more of an action movie.
Right. So it should have been funnier.
No, what we saw was the original.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. I didn't have a problem with the humor in this. I really enjoyed this movie start to finish, but it's for two different reasons as to why I enjoyed the sequel. Like, the sequel is very much a good precursor as to what superhero movies should have been to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Best
I have,
superhero landing ever.
I have a long history with this movie because, like, I remember seeing this back when I was like 10. Like, a friend of mine had it on like a VHS that was recorded with like the first Gremlins movie, and I borrowed it. I finished Gremlins, and then like the Guyver was on after it, and I started watching it. I'm like, what is this shit? Not knowing anything about it, and like I've been in love with both movies like ever since. So like,
actually, in a very
I'm so happy.
strange turn of events in this week's show, Buzz is the one that picked the movies actually because he'd seen them.
Yeah.
Well done, Buzz. Hooah!
2 out of the 3 you picked Tokyo.
Yeah,
Gore
well,
Police.
Tokyo Gore Police is out there. That's one it falls into that you either have or haven't category. Do you know what I mean? There's no.
Yeah.
Good
Like
picks,
I said,
good picks.
I've loved these movies for so long, and I'm just like, we need to get this worked in somehow. So when you were like, after Tuesday, we're like, hey, do we got any ideas for Thursday? I'm like, why not the Guyver? And you're like, yes.
Yeah, I remember seeing this on Bravo, and I was like, what is this?
I knew what it was when it came on Bravo.
I used to love Power Rangers, and it was like, this is like Power Rangers for adults. I'm digging it.
You get that vibe a lot more with the second movie too, because the guy who directed it did the original Power Rangers movie.
You can tell with the fight sequences, like that would be my only letdown of the original Guyver movies, and it was the same with like the original Mortal Kombat movie and everything. Was you have people in that can't martial art when very much now that the Guyver suit in the original movie looks a lot bulkier than the second one, so I'd imagine it's a lot harder to throw kicks and everything in it.
Yeah, the second one is more on point with looking the way that the comic and the anime series is. Like, it's fucking spot on. Do we want to do trailer for the first one, and then
give me 2 seconds and let me cue it up there, and we can do that.
Two shakes of
a lamb's tail, unless my computer BFs me up the A. How'd you like that, YouTube? Huh? Censor that.
Certainly better than what I was going to say for the 2 shakes.
What? No, you know what? We're going to cut to a trailer on that. That's the sentence we're going to end. 2, 1. And we're back. That was the trailer for Guyver, which came out in 1991. Yeah, if you like some cheesy 90s action monster movie mayhem, this is for you, especially if you happen to like Power Rangers, because this is very much a Power Rangers vibe off. Not as much as the next movie is. I can't remember who pointed it out.
Hey, we just got a stream suspension.
Really?
What?
Oh, no.
At least I got it. I don't. Okay.
I don't know what that's for.
Policy violations.
I didn't say anything.
It's copyright. It must have been the trailer. It's either the trailer or the clip I was playing, but I mean the clip had no fucking audio.
What the hell? Can't type either. That sucks. I was looking forward because this was the first time I'd seen Guyver too.
Oh, well, we'll just restart. I'm just trying to see, has it sent me an email?
Okay, now Cinnamon Reaper says, "Oh, you're back."
Oh, we do appear to be back. Oh, okay. Oh, good thing I kept streaming, so. Okay. Oh, okay. So it would appear that sorry about the delay there, guys. I'd say what happened was we probably got copyright flagged for the trailer, but thank you, YouTube, for not being because ordinarily, do you remember this is why you and I went to Facebook, Giz? Was because it had just shut the stream down. Bang, that was it.
Yeah, it was annoying.
Whereas now it seems to just block the trailer. So which is funny because I got the trailer off YouTube. So
that sucks.
Yeah, so go look up the trailer. Go look up the trailer for Guyver on YouTube.
There we go. I'm back.
I bet you it's probably I'd say there was some music in the trailer or something. It's usually music in the trailers is what gets us nabbed.
Oh no, Bill thinks that and Giz kills something else.
No. This definitely was not Giz's fault. 100%.
Thank you very much, Bill. By the way, hello.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, how are you? Okay.
Thank you.
Let's go up to the chat. That's what happens when you feed gremlins after midnight and add water. Okay, we need to go further back.
Were you talking about me?
Yeah. No, Striker looks like a gremlin. I remember the very first time I saw it. I'm like, weird, because like I said, I was young. I was like, is this Gremlins 3? And I didn't know like anything about it. And then I'm like, nope, it's not Gremlins 3.
Bill said funniest thing in Gremlins was the titty cannons.
What version of Gremlins were you watching? You
I was thinking of Tokyo Gore Police. Wasn't there titty cannons in Tokyo Gore Police?
It was acid.
She had the acid spitter.
Yeah, it's titty. I can't. I'm just repeating saying titty now.
Yeah, we're saying titty way too many times, dude.
Yeah. And your stream's been cut again. Oh, god damn it. Okay. It's the thing on a wall incident all over again.
Damn it, Bill. You already killed us all in Cthulhu, and they're going to get kicked off YouTube.
Just died.
She spit acid from her and her belly button.
Sleeping bear, that is YouTube. Yeah, you're fucking right there, Cinema Reaper.
Her belly button.
We poked the bear, and it kind of maimed us a little bit, but then went, no, it's okay. Continue on with your day. And we were like, thank you, bear. Thank you.
Smarter than the average bear.
He always kills things. He killed George Foreman in my house. A fucking George
Foreman.
How did
you kill a George?
Yeah. Okay, there was... Oh, shit. We're so... Oh, yeah, no. That was what we were going to do when we came back after the trailer was talk to the chat before we moved on with the other review. So, I suppose, I feel I'd be remiss to move on with the Dark Hero review before I ask, how'd you kill a George Foreman, Giz? The grill, renowned for being unkillable. The Unkilla grill.
I don't remember killing a George Foreman.
Well, either you're going to tell us the story or Bill's going to drop us the story in the chat. One or the other.
Bill, please do, because I'm not kidding. I don't remember killing it. Now, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying I don't remember it happening.
Did he actually like physically kill it with fire kind of thing, Bill? Or was it like the electromagnetic field of pissed offness that he has around him on a general basis that affects electrical equipment in general?
Because here's the thing. I don't cook with a George Foreman. I don't like him.
Evidently, yeah.
No,
I figured you killed it.
There's so many jokes I could make right now that I'm not going to because I feel we'll get pulled clean the fuck off YouTube.
It's like if you're going to grill food, grill it so that like it tastes properly.
Did you kill his so he could grill properly?
No, there's no way. The only reason hang on a minute, was I asked to kill it? Because that's happened before. I was given a hard drive and told kill it. And by the gods, that would put through the ringer. It was set on fire. It was put under the wheel of a bike. It was chopped up. It was hammered. It was kicked around the place.
I can see how this went wrong straight away. He was very drunk on whiskey is the very first part of the sentence there. And I feel that could be very, very much indicative as to where it went from there. But anyway, I'll carry on.
This would explain me
not
being
able to remember
it, all right.
He was very drunk on whiskey. Wall plus Foreman equals dead Foreman. He was angry cow. It wouldn't cook his sausage rolls. He didn't plug it in. He didn't plug it in. Then smashed it.
The sausage rolls got me. That was...
Who the fuck cooks sausage rolls in a George Foreman kiss?
To be fair, gentlemen, to be fair, let us not forget, we're talking about the guy, or sorry, this news is coming from the guy who once dipped 50 cola bottles into sweet and sour sauce dipped with wasabi paste.
Yeah, but he didn't smash him off a fucking wall because they weren't plugged in, though, did he? He just has an eclectic palate.
It fucking killed me. He did plug it in.
Wall plus Foreman equals dead Foreman. That's the sentence of a fucking century.
Oh, I'm crying. Oh, my eyes are leaking.
Now he's killed 3 grown men as part of that story.
We didn't cook his sausage rolls good enough for him.
Do you know what I'm actually semi-pissed off about is that it was...
Guns changed their sausage rolls, so I haven't been able to buy them in years.
What's that got to do with you murdering George Foreman?
Well, you can see where my anger issues would come from.
No. I really don't. I've no sausage roll related activity has ever got me to the stage of anger where I've fucking hopped a fucking grill off a wall.
I'm sure it had more to do with the amount of whiskey in my system.
I'm very sure the whiskey had a lot to do with it. You don't need to tell me the whiskey had anything to do with it. I'd nearly put the whiskey as solely culpable.
Sausage rolls, whiskey.
Let's not blame it all on the whiskey. No. Let's not blame it all on the whiskey.
Oh.
It was merely a catalyst for whatever fuck went through my head. Anyway, on to the next movie.
Yeah, okay. So
better before you kill me.
So good.
Okay, so
Guyver 2.
After Guyver became a bit of a cult classic, Steve Wang, who was one of the co-directors of the first movie, decided that he was going to go along and make a more serious version. Now, apparently this was on a lower budget, yet managed to look and sound and feel way better.
Yeah,
way better.
Everything looked higher quality.
Yeah. The Guyver suit itself was more in line with the anime series, and even the suits for the Zonoids allowed for better range of movement, which gave far better fight sequences.
Essentially,
those fight sequences were fucking sick.
Yeah, like we didn't get into it fully in movie 1, but the majority of the fight sequences in the first movie are him doing a lot of this and then throwing someone clean through the air with an occasional maybe kick to a knee. Whereas this guy's fully roundhouse kicky fucking everything.
Yeah.
It's good.
Now, once again, they take one of the main story arcs from the animated series. This case, where the kind of there's 2 climactic story arcs at the start of the comic book series. There's the escape from Kronos Tower, and then there's Relic's Point. This basically uses Relic's Point, where the first film basically used Kronos Tower. So in this case, Shawn, it's a few years later, he's still got the suit. It's driving him to be like this vicious, badass vigilante who is killing people because the suit is just
uncontrollable.
It's a weapon.
Being Shawn's issue because it's a little more murder, death, kill than Shawn would like. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And it's also he's also having dreams, I suppose, visions, thanks to the armor. Now it's never explained why, although I can theorize, and it's probably
all
be
of
a
that
good
mad
theory as to
ganji
why.
smoking, one or the other. Boy.
It's probably because the suit was previously equipped to somebody, and as a result, there was a genetic imprint which gave him a bit of a memory.
Oh, also, in relation to movie 1 and movie 2 linking together, by the powers of the biological armor that is the Guyver suit, it somehow, when it recreated Shawn, made him be a completely different dude.
That is
like that was like the one weird thing.
Sorry?
That was the one weird thing. The first one, dude. Him like melting and then like coming out of the other one in the first one.
Dude, there's not a lot of times in a superhero movie that you get to see them expand out their arm blade, cut their way out of a fucking dude from the inside out, and then
To Jaws music.
to the Jaws music, which is.
You see, the thing is,
Dude,
in
they
the
had the
comic,
guy who
right,
played Dr. West from Reanimator making weird mutant beings in a lab as a crazy doctor known as Dr. East. Like, that's the kind of movie you were dealing with number one.
Okay. Hang on. The point is, the metal being pulled out, that actually happened, and it actually regrows.
Yeah, it just needs to be in a biological tissue. And once it got back into biological tissue, it started reassembling itself.
The Guyver basically grants practical immortality. You could chop off the head and the rest of the body would grow.
Okay.
Even from the metal. The only way to actually kill the Guyver is to destroy the control metal.
The orb.
Yeah. Essentially, when the Guyver gets into you, you're like downloaded into the Guyver. So as long as it's got some biological material that it can reassemble itself with, it's fucking good to go.
Okay.
Until
you smash the orb.
Until the device. No, there's also a device that can unequip the armor. It can rip it off and completely strip away it returns it to the mechanism form. So that's one of the key things that comes into the comic and the cartoon. Anyway.
Okay, and seeing that's cool because like you were, I think you and me were talking. I didn't do the comic or the anime, so like just as a standalone in the film, I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" I mean, it looks cool, but okay. So
there is as I said, they followed their own version of the original stories, and even in the second movie, as we said, the second film is much darker and a much more serious tone. And I think part of that is the fact that they recast Shawn with David Hayter, who is a more serious actor. And Shawn, there's no way you'd be able to take him as serious after seeing him, like the guy who played him in the first one, because he was just a fucking comedy act half the time. But this sees Shawn kind of, he sees on the news that there was a bear attack, and the guy was claiming it's a werewolf, and they were near caves where they had these weird drawings. And the drawings were in line with what Shawn was.
That werewolf. That
Shawn
sounds a whole lot like one of them alien things to me.
Well, it's not, because your man said that there was cave drawings near where they were attacked, and does a sketch for the news, and they're exactly the same as what Shawn was seeing in his dreams. So that kind of so he tries to explain this to Mitsuki, who apparently he is with at this stage, and Mitsuki's having none of it, so he leaves her and goes off on his adventures. And
she also mysteriously changed by the power of the Guyver unit as well, which was I didn't understand that one.
Yeah, dude.
She changed, and she also lost her accent.
I'm actually, I'd nearly say she changed race if one wasn't to be that.
No, and also lost any interest in him.
See, here's one of the interesting things in regards to the change between Mitsuki in the films and the comic. She's way more demure in the first movie than the Mitsuki character would be, and then in the second one, the character of Corey, how she is with Shawn, is actually a little bit more the way Mitsuki would have been with Sho, in regards kind of supporting him and kind of, once she figures out what's going on, kind of believing in him and encouraging him and kind of, don't worry, you're not going to die. You're the only one that could possibly fucking save us, kind of bit. There's an awful lot of that in the early days in the comics, because Sho Fukumachi is a little fucking bitch. Thankfully, though, Agito is badass, because there's another guy.
Yes, there's a few.
Which, well, yeah,
okay,
there is.
And this is the first time I've seen this one.
Yeah.
So, this was a huge improvement over the first one.
It's like they're two different movies, isn't it? Like, literally.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I loved everything about the first one. You know what I mean? Like, as weird and goofy as it was, I loved the fucking first one. And then, I didn't
Dr.
even
East
really
had me for the
know
win
that there was a second
when I heard his
one.
name. I was like, win, movie's in. Winner for me. Done.
I'll be honest, right? The way I see it is, right? For people that are fans of the comic and fans of the anime, right? If you look at the first movie as being that first attempt, it's worth loving just because it got enough notoriety that then they were able to go along and give us the real.
You don't need
film.
to tell us why we should love this movie, kids. All three of us love this movie. We're not complaining about the movie.
I'm just saying.
All of the things we've said have been in a compliment.
I'm just saying.
I don't know why I'm speaking like this. I'm super excited tonight. Fuck yeah.
Getting back to the story of the film, John meets up with Corey, whose father is the head of the dig, where the caves where you're managing the drawings. Turns out they're about 2 steps shy of uncovering something massive, which gets covered as soon as Shawn arrives on, because it turns out he is the key to the whole goddamn thing, because there's a spaceship, it can sense his armor, it's waking up.
Drawing out the areas that they've noticed where there's stuff there, and you're looking at the shape of it, I was like, why is Shawn the only one that's like, that's a spaceship? Why is everybody else not like, that's a spaceship? Like, that's definitely a fucking spaceship.
No shit.
You're an archaeologist, asshole.
Because it was round.
Why is the random guy figuring it out? God damn.
Because it could have been an alien structure as opposed to a ship.
Fucking spaceship. That looked, the shape of that goes put me in space now.
Anyway, point is, once they discover that, things get kicked into hyperdrive, because it turns out the entire dig is funded by Kronos, because Shawn never actually destroyed all of Kronos, just Kronos LA, and Kronos is actually worldwide. And Commander Guo is behind the scenes demanding that Crane, the kind of their boy on the side, or their boy on the site, take charge and get in there and find the weapons and whatever else.
Get me
cool
all the alien shit and get them
side.
archaeologists out, because they're not cataloguing nothing.
Yeah. Plus, when a nurse, one reporter, and the hunter who escaped the bear attack, the first time around, some photos, they get a slap. Yeah, they get a slap of Vulcar, who is one of the
also
Zonoids,
very much not a bear. Just to clarify.
Yeah, very much not. That is not a bear.
No,
you call that a bear? This is
only one
bear.
of you got the joke. Outlander. That is not a bear. Anyway, Kronos is alerted to the fact that the Guyver is on site when it goes to stop Vulcar from killing the newsie.
And it's more than
the
delighted
reporter.
about that, because you don't mind murdering Vulcar. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this means that everything gets kicked into overdrive.
Insert cool
as I
fight
said,
sequence
this
here.
This film is a lot darker, and as a result, the fights are fucking brilliant. The suits this time around are designed to give enough movement that you have, to be fair, like you were saying earlier, Power Ranger level fights. And really good, except Power Ranger level fights with gratuitous
Not Power Rangers TV level fights,
violence.
by the way. Power Rangers the first movie level fights.
That
and just
scrap
also,
with
I'm going to put a
final
nail in the coffin and on the ground right now. Arguably the best Power Rangers movie.
Okay, that final fight with Vulcar in the forest when he properly gets ripped into is just, the practical effects are brilliant in it.
Dude, both movies, monsters looked great. Gore looked awesome. That Mark Hamill transformation was fucking sweet.
Do you want to know what's really cool about this film? As I said, while they followed the basic premises of the first 2 story arcs, they did their own thing in so many ways. The Guyver Zonoid, that's never happened in anything else. That was their idea, and it looked fucking awesome.
He's very angry.
The only downside is it was a damaged unit, so every time, not every time, but every couple of seconds, you can see the mechanism kind of twitch or.
That actually ties into the comic book. That actually ties into the comic book.
You actually saw that affect him
in the comic and the cartoon. Do you remember Lisker, the character from your man Lisker in the first film?
Yeah.
He's actually a high-level Kronos agent, and he's not an idiot in any way, shape, or form. He's one of their top boys. He gets his hands on a second Guyver unit that's cracked, and in order to bring down Sho, he decides to put it on. The only reason Sho is able to beat him, much like in this film, is because the unit's cracked. Because Sho is a kid, and the Guyver unit's making him really powerful. Lisker is a trained fighter. The Guyver unit makes him damn near fucking invincible. And that's also one of the reasons why later on, when you see Agito, when Guyver 3 comes along, once again, a trained fighter with the suit is fucking vicious.
No, for not knowing this movie existed, this was a fucking awesome watch.
So good.
I love the soundtrack to it. It's just great.
Which
Everything
hopefully
about this
none
is
of us
awesome.
in the trailer, or you're going to be in for another epic pause break with the GoreCast.
I kind of hope it is, because it's pretty good music.
Well, you've just cursed us, Giz. Thanks for that.
Yeah, it's not the first time. Probably won't be the last.
And we're getting shut down in 3, 2, 1,
So,
bye.
we'll be right back, hopefully, after the trailer for Guyver 2, Dark Hero.
Dark Hero.
I just said that.
The Guyver unit. It's been a year since the alien armor invaded my body and became a part of me. A year since I first became the Guyver and destroyed the Kronos Corporation and their shape-changing killers, the Zoonoids. Now Kronos is gone, but the Guyver stays in me, calling me to fight, to kill. I'm not the one, am I? Guyver. They want the weapons, Corey. It's all they'll ever want.
And we're back in the studio. Hello. That was the trailer for Guyver 2, which I hope you all enjoyed. Copyright free.
If you've not seen it, you should.
It's on YouTube.
Because it's
The whole
freaking
movie
awesome.
is on YouTube. Uncut as well. Which is type.
And there's also some very attractive archaeologists in this movie. Female ones.
I'm
not
very
males.
glad that you clarified.
Maybe
that.
males. I don't remember. I had to make sure that I...
Dig up, stupid. Dig
Because I
up.
was like, don't get me wrong, that chick's dad was kind of hunky in a weird archaeological kind of way, but I wouldn't have called it out on air.
Especially when he transforms into the weird bug
Sure.
thingy
If there's one
thing.
thing we've learned from the previous one, is that anyone can be one of those alien things. Thank you. The name wouldn't
Zoonoid.
come to me.
It was aliens.
Technically, they're not aliens.
You know what? And I dug the fact that there was a variety, that we just didn't have like one alien, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I always enjoyed this series. I just liked the creation mythology behind it, the notion that humanity was nothing more than a template, and that from that template, these different varieties of living weapons can be created. Now, in the comic and in the cartoon, it's a little bit more uniform. Like, they have specific designs. Like, Volker would actually be very similar to Greygull, as one of their brute force types.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas most of the other ones in the movies are just they're more original designs. You know, there's nothing I can think of in the films that I can liken to in the comics or the cartoons, really, apart from Volker having a vague likeness to Greygull. But like I said, they're designed to be military assets, military weapons. You know, we get this type in for this job and this type in for that job. But part of the comic and part of the cartoon is the evolution of these types to then deal with the Guyver and the others that come along as a result.
That's deep, man. That's
Actually,
that's
he'd have been more like one of the hyperzoonoids now that I think about it. Yeah.
Anyway.
Just a little bit of big fuck.
Anywho, moving swiftly along from Guyver and Guyver 2, or Guyvers if you want to look at it that way, we have Tokyo Gore Police from 2008, which tells the story of a young girl who has powers and works for the Tokyo Gore Police, essentially, and they go around hunting these weird monster things that keep showing up all over Tokyo. And then she somewhat becomes one of those weird monster things, and engineers. I was going to leave all of that till we start getting into the actual discussive bit of it. This is just my quick overviewy kind of thing. And mostly other than that, it's just a whole bunch of weird, eccentric scenes between slight musical numbers and slight fucking weird mutation bits. You get to see a guy get his deck eaten off, for instance. You get to see a guy peel his whole head off, and turns out there's machine gun eyeballs. All of that kind of cool craziness goes on as she tries to delve deeper into what's going on with the engineers and get to the head of the snake and cut it off. That is Tokyo Gore Police.
Why do I like the Why do I like the Japanese? Because they're into some mad fucking shit, man.
Oh my god!
Like, if you were wondering how I managed to get through this synopsis so quickly, it's because that's literally the whole plot of the movie. That's the real whole. And you know what? Sometimes that's all the plot you fucking need, because this movie is awesome.
The lead character, Ruka, her father was apparently killed in the line of duty, and as a result, she was raised by the head of the Tokyo Police to become the ultimate engineer hunter, and is played by Audition's Ihi Shina. So she knows how to enjoy her blood and violence and look really hot while being covered in viscera. To be perfectly honest, I'm being nice. But yeah. The plot revolves around Ruka trying to track down engineers and then finding out that there's a little bit of a conspiracy and a little bit of a deeper plot in regards to the engineers and what happened to her father and the
higher up the
machinations.
ladder of human than they initially were led to believe.
Yeah, the genetic restructuring and re-engineering thanks to the discovery of one geneticist whose father was inextricably murdered right next to Ruka's father.
There's Giz, because you nearly had a little. I'll curtail to you a little bit for one time and one time only, because in pre-guessing of your general status, there is I'm a sexy S&M schoolgirl that works for the Gore Police poster, or there's a slightly more I'm sexy S&M schoolgirl that works for the Gore Police poster. Would you like me to up the ante, seeing as...
I can't see either, so it doesn't make a spot of difference to me, unfortunately.
Watch the show back, like I'm sure you do.
It's okay. I have the DVD.
Of the show? Oh, right.
Of the film.
Because I don't remember making a DVD of the show.
I was about to go weird Spaceballs movie.
He's in the now. Wait, in the... What happens now?
But you know what, man? Like this, like he said though, it. You got like DVD for Guyver story. It's got 2 seconds of story, but by God, man, the action and all the shit they came up with is fucking awesome.
This entire thing is just a 90s anime brought into live
down
action.
to how
Much
people... It's an anime even down to how people bleed, because if people even receive a paper cut in this movie, 14 litres of blood are spilt in the most high octane.
Dude got his hands cut off, and it was like fountains just spraying from his
experience.
wrists.
That's what happens. So...
Yeah, but I mean, like that was like 2 or 3 bodies worth of blood.
You'd be surprised how much blood will come out of a limb.
I also thought
the first few moments, the heart is pumping really fast when adrenaline kicks in. So when you get through the major artery, it's just going to spurt straight
Very
out.
surprised was I.
I also liked the commercial.
I found out the truth of how much blood comes out of a thing.
I also like the commercial for the fancy little cool, like the wrist splitters that they had. The 3 different.
Oh, that was so weird.
They have loads of.
That was so
there's a real.
Yeah, I like that commercial as well.
I was like, wait,
while there is, as we said, not a crazy amount of plot. Although, as we also said, when you got a plot so solid as this, you don't really need a crazy amount of it to continue on a whole movie. But there is a lot of commentary on kind of consumerism and the way things are done. There's also a lot of commentary on the way they think people are going to be going, because there's even a do-it-yourself execution style kit for people. From what I picked up in the advert, I gathered it was kind of someone had murdered their daughter. he was sentenced to death. You get to handle the death in a VR style kind of scenario.
I don't think it was necessarily the exact same person that had murdered their daughter, but it was the point being that a sense of social justice, because their daughter was murdered, they can now do this and take part in the execution of someone that had committed
I'd like to think it's the guy.
an equal crime.
Because they get a bit of vindication.
But except that they... I don't know, there was something that was said at the start of it that led me to believe that it was just a random guy that had been sentenced to be executed. But anyway, yeah, no, you're right. The mad commercials and the sword that can cut through anything, and a guy continuously maiming and dicing himself. And
Right.
the enrollment for the Tokyo Police. Yeah. But yeah, no, this film was just off the wall with violence and gore and everything that you can imagine from basically a mid-90s fucking anime series, except done with live action and over the top. Really cool over the top kind of punk style music, mainly female vocals. There was some mad fucking stuff.
Dude, there was some mad fucking stuff.
Sin.
Is the primo way of describing this movie. 100.
And you know, like
it was bizarre.
Dude, it starts
And a
off
little bit-
wacky. Like even what the Tokyo Gore Police look like is so anime and over the top. Like they look like samurai warriors with these cool Ronin face masks and all of that kind of thing. Then they're fighting this guy who uses weaponry, as in I've got a chainsaw and I've also got a head and a chain that I bash off people. That's the opening scene, is a big fight between a load of the Tokyo Gore Police and this guy, and then Riku shows up and the smashy kill.
And four hoses off camera that are just like turned to full and blasting out. And this is like the engineers. The whole point is that when they get injured, they can then turn their injuries into weapons. So that first scrap, your man has a chainsaw at first. His hand gets chopped off. All of a sudden, where his hand was, a chainsaw grows out, and then he holds up the other chainsaw and just starts waylaying into everything around him as buckets and streams and hoses of fucking clarin just rain down on everything.
Which, like, as you said, that leads to some very interesting self-mutilation with some people where, like, as I said, that guy peels his head off because he's like, well, I'm going to have shotgun eyes.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Or the old the S&M chick with the 4 swords instead of limbs. That was fucking cool.
That's straight out of a Duran Gray video. I don't know if you ever saw them. They're like a Japanese answer to Corn.
Don't forget you. Yeah, I've played Durham Gray on the show a couple of times. Thank you, Kira Roach, for requesting them. But yeah, no, I did. Yeah, when she was walking around, the quadriplegic walking around at first, and then they put her on the blade arms, and yeah, that was interesting. And then later on, when she was on the machine gun arms,
there's the guy with the penis tentacle.
I was trying to not get us kicked off YouTube.
I feel like it has to be mentioned, though.
Not mentioned.
And it was canon.
Yeah.
It was a cannon, not tentacle. It was a fucking great big...
Yeah, no, like, it definitely, watching him shoot from that was... Yeah, we'll go with that.
The cute little Japanese schoolgirl with the fucking sword for her hand when she squirted acid, it wasn't just from her tits. That wasn't her belly button that other stream was coming from.
Oh, wow, I seriously
that
thought
was a sentence.
Yep. I think one of the most bizarre scenes in this entire movie has to be the flesh market. The flesh market and the weird chair.
Oh,
yeah, that weird chair is a weird chair.
Nope.
No, you know,
the snail guard was bad enough, but that was just nope.
You know, man, like it leaves off with the possibility of a sequel, and I was so hoping when I saw it back then.
Dude, if you like this, just go and watch. Is it Chainsaw Schoolgirl or something like that, or Machine Gun Schoolgirl?
Oh,
yeah.
I was thinking of Mutant Girl Squad.
There
There's
is
lot
a
of them.
whole spate of Japanese gore movies. It's practically a subgenre in itself. Subgenre.
Never
Yes,
is
my shorty penny.
never is the dichotomy of the Japanese perversion so fully shown than I suppose that in this, whereby you have ridiculously attractive women, oodles of blood, and some of the most bizarre sexual mutilations one could ever imagine.
And bizarre weapons. Because think about old boy's fist cannon.
Yeah, that's a double entendre if ever I fucking heard one.
This is like a weird live action version of like Devilman, and I don't know if you ever saw Demon City Shinjoku.
Yeah. I have that. I have Wicked City, but I still have not watched them. Devilman, I fucking love.
Devilman.
Devil.
But yeah, so like it really is. I mean, like at every corner, it's just another fucking live action moment, like of anime, like where you think it's like, wow, that's the weirdest shit I've seen so far. Like they just continuously amp it up at every fucking turn.
Amp it up.
I can't hear Giz, but it looks like he's talking.
Giz's mic has cut out again. Cut out again. Cut out again.
Cut out again. I look super happy about that 1 second.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Giz's mic has cut out again. Cut out
That's
again.
because your screen went green and red, flashed, and then apparently it went.
Let me know when it's finished.
Okay. So yeah, I didn't when I was like at every turn it just keeps amping shit up.
Yeah, no, I was saying that even in regards her Ruka's posture and stuff, during the fight scenes is all very, anime style, the kind of poses that they do sometimes before the fight. We shall defeat you. She did a lot of that stuff, not with the talking, but just the cool posturing and just before the most. Who the hell holds a sword behind them and then draws it like that? That's just all right. Fine.
It's great though.
Yeah, and that's the reason. That's exactly it. And that's what popped into my head.
Very cinematic.
She looks ridiculously hot.
Very cinematic as well.
It's yes, very cinematic.
I have to say, in props to your man that made this movie, it's very cinema.
Yeah. Buzz, you look like you have something to say there.
I don't know what he's doing.
Nope.
What are you doing?
Okay.
I was just looking at you guys this way through my thing.
I
love how Buzz just stays quiet for group chats now and just sits in the corner doing weird shit.
That's just it, man. He either had something to say or confession to make because his mouth was working its way down along that mic. It's going like, what the smack, man?
No, I was looking at you guys. Through. Actually, I don't think I can do that.
You're not helping yourself.
Should not do that.
Oh. Apparently, the penis cannon really got to Buzz.
Penis cannon. How do I make a penis cannon?
Literally, I was just looking through like my little hole here. That's all I was doing was looking at you guys.
You're not helping your case, Eddie.
I just
my case. I would say it's a suggestion if you've never stepped into this odd little world of genre. It's a fucking ride to fucking take.
But if you were to step into this weird world of a genre, I think this is a good one to get you into it.
Oh, fuck yes.
If you're into this, you'd be into any of them.
Oh, yeah. That's why I said this is why it'd be a good one to get you into it.
Yeah.
There's enough like beautiful cinematics and really, really, really well shot scenes. And a lot of the acting and everything is on point. But then it just gets fucking crazy every 5 minutes.
It's just madcap, off the wall Japanese insanity at its best with a really cool, mainly female orientated punk soundtrack. It's just fun.
Yeah. Oh well, I was happy with the punk soundtrack instantaneously.
Yeah.
Very good. Be very happy with said soundtrack. Right. Will we hit a trailer for Tokyo Gore Police and then we'll come back? Because this is going to be an actual kind of normal length. Well, I'm not going to say that now because you never know. We have an outro segment to do yet. Anyway, we're going to be back after. Do anyone else have final thoughts on the buzz? I'm very interested to hear some thoughts from any thoughts. Actually, I don't think he said a thing
about this movie. I didn't really like it all that much, so I have nothing to say about it because you guys were all.
You're allowed to disagree with us. This is a democracy. It's not like come on to my podcast and talk about movies with me, but don't you disagree with them or don't you or I'll do this. I don't know. That's not buzz. No wait. There you go. That was a joke. I wouldn't actually do that. I just made it disappear there for a minute because I can. Button. Boop. What's that? You didn't like the movie?
It's not my cup of tea. We'll just say that it was very bloody. I admit that there's blood everywhere.
But did you not get
so just not your bag at all?
No,
as in you don't like that kind of gore kind of stuff, or just
no? The gore doesn't really have anything to do with it. Just the story. Like I just didn't know what the hell was going on. But I guess that's the point.
You'd like the insanity aspect of it.
All right, eight people just talked one at a time, please. I can't answer your question.
2 people talked because
I know I was using 8 as a.
So it's kind of like just the insanity of the story, like how it plays out.
Yeah,
and stuff.
like I don't want to say that I'm like I have to have a story make sense because obviously I liked Guyver and that doesn't make sense either. But I don't know.
It makes more sense than this now. In fairness,
it makes perfect sense. You goddamn motherfucking heathen.
No, like so. But like
this is why I don't say things because I get called a heathen.
Yeah, but strangely enough, it's not about the movie I asked you about.
That's true.
I actually thought you'd like this because there is a whole kind of like sci-fi vibe off it.
I don't like. I guess I'm not gonna say. I guess I said I don't like it, but I don't hate it. I mean, I'm very in between. Like. I might have to watch it again to kind of...
Like, would you recommend it to someone?
Yeah, I recommend it, yeah.
Okay.
Buzz, I'll be honest with you, right? I'll be honest. The first time I saw this was actually years ago. And I think my problem was that I was very, 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 very out of my head at the time. And as a result, couldn't get into it. So I can understand maybe you not liking it.
Then he took the DVD player off the table, smashed it off the fucking wall, and left. I don't like this movie. Off now.
But I can also see off. I can also see this not being somebody's bag necessarily.
Oh yeah.
It's very madcap off the wall.
It's why they're all of these things are in a subgenre of their own.
Yeah. Right. Like this wasn't my first film into like these. You know what I mean? So this was just another enjoyable film in that genre. But I mean, the oddities can definitely quickly kick somebody out of the.
I think it's just the fact that I'm not really used to this kind of movie as much. I haven't really seen a lot of them.
Do you know what we're gonna do next week? We're gonna pick a whole load of Tokyo Gore movies.
Actually, I've got 3 films in my head already.
Okay. Not sequels to this, as in the subgenre of Tokyo Gore.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of live action anime type things.
I was thinking Tokyo Gore.
I mean, yeah. Are you talking the live action, actual anime, Full Metal Alchemist?
As in, I can think of 2 live action movies that are live action adaptations of an anime series, and one that is the live action adaptation of, I think, a comic.
I would like to do Tokyo Gore. As I said, I'd like to try and expand Buzz's
Chainsaw Girl then.
Yeah, Machine Girl. Let me do the trailer for Tokyo Gore, please, and we can have a natter during the ad break. Although I do like your idea of live action anime movie thing. I just want to do this one with him. Just see if.
Okay.
Well, horror is such a diverse little genre. It's a genre. It's a subgenre of cinema itself, and then it's a subgenre of cinema that has 60 fucking subgenres of its own. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it leaves you with a whole bag of shit that you possibly could watch, or maybe I don't like that. And if I can help Buzz rule a genre in or out, I would like to do that. And anyone else.
Right.
Cool.
And, you know, while he figures out if this is his bag or not, I get to watch a lot of cool shit for an excuse. So,
Fuck yeah. Anyway,
Yep.
here's the trailer for Tokyo Gore Police, and we will be back with some other Tokyo Gore movies for next week, later date thing. Bye. Dum 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 dum. We're back. That was the trailer for Tokyo Gore Police. Gives you a slight indication of the what. Why am I talking like this? I went a little bit nighttime radio there, people. Sorry about that.
sounds cool.
Yeah, that's the trailer for Tokyo Gore Police. Yeah, you get a slight indication as to the whackball job of cinematic Tokyo awesomeness that this fucking doodad is, or in Buzz's case, just all right. So we were discussing during the trailer about what we would do. Obviously, if any of you guys in the chat have extra suggestions that would fit into the sort of Tokyo Gore category, by all means drop them in and we'll take a look at them. But we were thinking Vampire Girl versus Frankenstein's Girl, Mutant Girl Squad, and Machine Girl, seeing we said Machine Girl several times.
Bill suggested Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. Yeah, he just texted me as well. It's kind of like, Battle Royale, do Battle Royale.
I thought we did
Jesus.
Battle Royale, you and I.
We did. Go back and watch the episode, Bill. Haha.
Yeah, Battle Royale fits in in the Japanese style movies, but it doesn't really fit the Japanese gore style, if you know what I mean. Like, don't get me wrong, it's gruesome as fuck, but it's a different level to this. Is like literally people growing machine guns out of their fucking eyes and shooting acid out of their poontang and growing crocodile legs.
There's dark. There's dark and serious, and then there's madcap off the wall, fucking buckets of blood, limbs turning into weapons.
We could do battle royale when we do your animes to live action.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I've got ideas. I'm looking at 2 films here that are basically much like Guyver. They'd be the ones that are kind of following or live action versions of an anime series, and then there's another film called Gunhead, which I think.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I haven't heard.
It's a guy.
I haven't heard of that
for
one.
a head. That's literally all you need to know.
Except it's not. That's not what it is at all.
Oh.
You madcap bastard. It's a fucking mecha.
And the surprise he would have had when he went in and was like, "This isn't a guy." Kids.
He would have thought he was watching the wrong film.
Okay, in defense, yeah, and that would have fucked me up for the rest of the night.
He would have been like, "Where's this film that they're trying to fucking? What the fuck? I got sent the wrong fucking film."
Hey, what was that versus Frankenstein?
Vampire Girl versus Frankenstein. We'll call it the Battle of the Gore Girls. I'm reluctant to go Asian Gore Girls. Well, everything's got machine girl. Everything's got girl in the title. It's Mutant Girl Squad, Machine Girl, and Vampire Girl versus Frankenstein Girl.
Girls Night Out,
gentlemen.
Gore Girls Gone Wild. Okay, that's it. Next week's episode. Myself, Giz, Carter, and Buzz will do Gore Girls Gone Wild. But before
the tape,
well, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
No, I do know because I haven't made any of the suggestions.
But before next Thursday, where we have Gore Girls Gone Wild, we have myself and Giz on this Sunday, where we are doing. No, that's
Shining
on American Horror.
I have an idea. I do not want to discuss it on air because that's when bad things happen.
Yeah, but I'm trying to advertise the show, so put the idea out, dude. Please.
So this Sunday is a really cool fucking idea.
Sunday's Father's Day.
Last Sunday was Father's Day, I thought.
Movies no, this Sunday, because my sister sent me a message only during this week.
That would explain why my dad looked really surprised I gave a Father's Day card last Sunday.
Shit.
Oh shit! Thank you.
You,
Buzz, don't you? Or,
you
sorry,
have
Carter,
a different
Buzz,
Father's
America
Day to us.
have different days to the rest of the world.
Ours is this.
You do not have a different Father's Day to us.
But you do have a different Mother's Day to us, don't you?
I think it's the second Sunday of May. I think there's no specific date.
All I know is that my sister sends me a message to let me know to get my parents something because I never remember these things. I know it's the same every year.
Reminder for me to check the calendar to figure out when our Father's Day is then, because that way I'm not an asshole.
I just watch TV and I get thrown 18,000 commercials telling me Father's Day is coming up and get something for Dad. He likes to pound things.
See, that's my problem. I don't watch TV
so much to get those commercials.
There's a tagline
I don't watch
that
TV.
you're never going to hear again. You go get this for Dad. Dad likes to pound things. Dad loves pounding things.
Father's Day.
If my future son or daughter ever sees this podcast upon watching back, Dad loves to pound things.
I just do this. I just do the same thing every year. Get him beer. He's not like a heavy beer drinker or anything like that. It's just that, it's an easy gift as far as I'm concerned. Someone's going to get me something. So,
I just want to make sure I at least make the phone call of, hey, Dad, thank you. Happy Father's Day.
Well, see, the upside for me is I live in the same house as my father. So just go,
high five.
Hey,
Nice. Okay, cool. I'll catch you later. See you later, bro.
Slap hands. Slap hands. Slap hands.
High fives for Father's
Day.
Day.
Yeah, as a thought, as an idea, perhaps horror movies relating
Cinema
to
Reaper has
fathers.
confirmed that it is in fact Sunday for the American contingent as well.
I said that already, but thank you.
Wow. I fucking
Newbie reviews.
The newbies review.
Your pull-out game
Happy
is weak.
Father's game is weak.
Your Happy Father's Day. Your pull-out game is weak. Happy Father's Day. Your pull-out game is weak. And the stream gets shut down.
Yeah. Good thing we're towards the end.
This Sunday, myself and Giz are going to be doing movies relating to Father's Day. And on Tuesday, Carter and Buzz are going to be doing... Tuesday, Carter and Buzz are going to be doing another original versus remake Tuesdays, where they're going to be doing The Thing, as in the 1940...
A Thing from Another World.
Yeah, The Thing from Another World and the John Carpenter remake of The Thing.
I was going to ask if that's what you were doing, or if you were going to do the prequel.
But then that wouldn't be original versus remake, would it? That'd be prequel versus original.
Yes, I know.
That's our
new series,
which we can do.
That's
not bad, actually. Keep that mentally logged.
When my point was going to be, when the new film came out, it was marketed as a remake of the original, a remake of John Carpenter's one. It wasn't, though. It was a great prequel.
Great my ass, dude.
And also, before all of that, this Sunday on American Horrors, 8:30 p.m. CST, whatever that equates to is G&Gs. Myself and Giz are back on the channel that is AmericanHorrors.com, and we're going to be reviewing Dr. Sleep and historically reviewing The Shining, which is more of an historical overview and some facts about The Shining, because we figured everyone has seen The Shining. Except it turned out on air that Giz informed me he hadn't seen it until I made him watch it, which was odd. Yeah, that was literally my
I'm not a fan of Stephen King.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Really?
The only reason that I like the original It is because Tim Curry is fucking awesome.
Oh my God,
We've
yes,
done Issue
dude.
the Killer as well,
Yes.
Bill. If memory serves me correctly, we've definitely done Issue the Killer, actually. You and I, Gizzles.
So do you stay away from like all films just because they're Stephen King, or like, hey,
No,
Christine
it's- no,
sounded good?
No, it's generally a case of Stephen King. Odds are I'm not going to like it. If I hear enough people say good
And
things
you
about
didn't
it, I'll
hear
check it
enough
out.
people saying good things about The Shining. Is that what I'm picking up?
To be fair, hang on a second. To be fair, by the time I was old enough to appreciate The Shining, I already knew everything about The Shining thanks to The Simpsons, which is why we covered that on last Sunday's show.
Yeah.
Like, why watch it?
Between that and pop culture references and everything else, there wasn't an awful lot of new information given to me when I did eventually watch the movie, apart from being able to appreciate the fantastic movie that Stanley Kubrick made.
Well, that's right. That's actually fair enough. Yeah. It is one of those movies that's so famous you don't need to have seen it to have seen it. Do you know what I mean?
No, by the same respect, having watched it meant that when I watched Dr. Sleep, I could fully appreciate all the nods to The Shining that were in it, such as the interview with Danny in like pretty much the exact same
even right
office
down
as
to
Jack
the
Nicholson.
layout and the American flags. Like everything is in a mirror image.
And the photo in the background,
mirror
everything
image,
spot on.
So Dr. Sleep is worth a watch then?
Ooh.
Okay.
It's not a horror movie. It's a supernatural superhero movie.
If you're looking for something
very
to keep you tied over until New Mutants finally fucking comes out, this would be a very good substitute. And I'm saying that in a big I'm saying that in a complimentary manner.
Buzz is like, fuck no.
Oh, New Mutants. No, it definitely is.
Yeah.
I'll do you one worse. Not only is it coming out, but apparently he is still intent on making a trilogy.
17 years later.
I just like...
If I had to do one more news then saying that motherfucker has been canceled, fuck the New Mutants is all I gotta say. Fucking done. I want to see it. I really want to see it. But obviously the people who make the movie don't want us to see it. Because they don't want to put it in the fucking film screens. So I can fucking watch it. Tired of talking about it being fucking canceled. You guys wanted me to talk. You brought up New Mutants. Now I'm yelling. I'm not really that mad. It's okay.
You only had some tater chips. Smashy, smashy.
That was great. A comic book branch not done by me.
But he's right there. Like, I want to see it, but I am tired of the
Strangely enough, Giz, considering you and I are renowned for ranting on air, since we've started doing the group chat Thursdays, Buzz is actually the ranter out of the group.
I feel it's his way of fighting back because he doesn't do an awful lot of the talking during the review segments.
Yeah.
And we do make him watch weird shit.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I didn't do my key thing here. Fuck New Mutants.
Okay. Well, anyway, I suppose that's as good a time to end as ever. Join myself and the Giz on Sunday, where we're going to be talking about some other sort of mad horror bollocks in relation to Father's Day, and we're going to be on American Horror's 8:30 p.m. CST, and whatever that equates to is GMTs, where we're going to be reviewing Doctor Sleep and The Shining. So here's the trailer for that. We'll catch you all Sunday night.
Still pissed off about that whole accident last week. Look,
I am, yeah.
I'm sorry, okay? It was a simple mistake, all right? A simple
mistake. A simple mistake.
Yeah.
4 days on a frickin' island getting chased by a guy in a purple fucking leotard is not a simple mistake. Or fun.
Did you know it was originally supposed to be a red leotard?
I don't care if it was originally supposed to be red. It's red now, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, by the end of it, you made a pretty good job.
Yeah, you can finish it.
Okay, look, I swear, right? This time I'm making it up to you, okay? I got another idea for a vacation spot. Don't worry, I have a whole new way of doing the spell. It won't fuck up this time. I promise. It'll be good, okay? Trust me.
I feel you're talking bollocks.
It'll be fine. Okay, so.
I don't like this. Stop it.
Power of the Abyss.
Stop it.
Where for you, the light of the sun is pining.
Stop it.
Open a portal.
Stop it.
Where for us, it is the Shining.
Stop it.
What the fuck are we doing in the hotel bathroom? Who's that screaming chick?
I have no idea.
Here's Johnny.
No, here's Johnny. Right, let's get the fuck out of here. What in the actual flying fuck is going on?
I don't know, look, at least I got us to the hotel, alright? So just relax. Oh, cool! A tidal wave of blood!
Tidal wave of blood?
Oh, crap! A tidal wave of blood! A tidal wave of blood!
Stupid goddamn.
What the fuck? Jeez.
What in the shit is going on?
I don't know, okay? I don't know, I'll figure it out.
I hate creepy midget kids.
Just let me think for a second. Open a portal. Open a portal for us where the sun is the shining. Oh, that's what I did. On the plus side though, this gives you a great idea for an episode.
What, haunted as fuck hotels?
No, well, kind of. The Shining and Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I hate that. It's so fucking scary. Anyway, join myself and the guests on Sunday, 8:30 p.m. CST, and whatever that equates to is GMTs, only on American Horrors, for a brand new episode where we're going to be looking into The Shining and Dr. Sleep consecutively, because that's the way it's supposed to happen. I'm going this way. Ah! Fucking kids, I hate them.
That way.